The steel edge also serves for making steel tools and weapons as soon as they have begun to smelt iron. They did not understand the chemistry that made one alloy of iron and carbon powder but more brittle and another more malleable but more easily blunted. But did not understand the chemistries that made one alloy of iron and carbon powder but more brittle and another more malleable but more easily blunted. In addition to the combustion of steel, Einstein discovered that they could change the physical properties of metal by quenching, that is, immersing the red hot blade in water or a mixture of water and oil. The crunching process alters the structure of the metal, making it harder and giving it a much sharper cutting edge. Also, smiths from Syria and Spain were famous for their blades in the medieval period. The world's finest steel blades were made in Japan for the samurai elites. However, because Japan remained close to the outside world for almost 250 years, until the late 19th century, the excellence of Japanese swords was only revealed to the world long after military tactics had moved on from one-to-one combat between armed swordsmen. A full understanding of the steel manufacturing process was not achieved until the middle of the 19th century, when it was perfected in Britain, America, and Germany, which as a result became the leaders of the industrial age. The first industrial revolution was powered by coal and its machines made of cast and wrought iron. However, iron is subject to metal fatigue, which in extreme cases could lead to uh, disastrous failures. During the first half of the 19th century, there were several high-profile disasters, including the collapse of iron bridges and the failure of iron railway tracks. In 1856, Henry Bessemer perfected the Bessemer process that allowed the manufacture of plentiful quantities of cheap steel. The metal provided the material base for the second industrial revolution, creating the world of railroads, steamships, automobiles, mechanized factories, and metal framed buildings. Also, our material technology has moved on with the invention of plastic and aluminum alloys. A quick glance around our homes and workplaces will reveal how much we still depend on steel in daily life. The framework of the chair, the framework of the chair on which I am sitting, the bolts, screws, and nuts that hold my desk together, the armature of the computer that I am using to write this book. Even the frame of the glasses I need to see the screen clearly as one type are all made with different types of steel. The main driver of the development of iron steel metallurgy was military technology. From very earliest times, ironsmiths produced steel, but they did not understand the chemical processes by which ore in different quantities of carbon with wrought iron changed its properties. He produced blades with sharper edges than bronze weapons, but that could also be flexible. But their discoveries were achieved through trial and error and experience, and their knowledge was more akin to magical lore than technological know-how. Also, armor had been made from bronze. Sheep iron made stronger and lighter armor, but at a higher cost. The extra resources and time required to make steel plate armor changed the nature of warfare. Now, the soldier carried so much extra weight, he needed to be mounted to remain mobile. Thus, a warrior required a considerable wealth to buy this armor and a suitable mount. Beginning in later antiquity, large armies were likely armed infantrymen made way for made way for elite forces of heavily armed mounted cavalrymen who evolved into the medieval knight in shining armor. Uh, the Band of Brothers, right October 25, 1450, was the day of the Battle of Agincourt, which inspired one of William Shakespeare's most starring patriotic compositions, King Henry V. Starring patriotic, starring patriotic composition, King Henry V delivers the Band of Brothers speech in a play named for its lead character, which Shakespeare wrote almost 2 centuries after the king's death. Agincourt fought between French and English on a battlefield in northern France. It was only one of many such engagements during the drawn-out conflict between the two countries that later became known as the Hundred Years' War. Also portrayed as a war between two nation-states, the cause and the origins of the conflict show that this is an oversimplification made up by historians to serve the propaganda means for later conflict. After the, con- After the conquest of Anglo-Saxon England in 1066 by the Normans themselves, the descendants of Viking raiders who had settled in northern France, the various dynastic claims through marriage between the English Norman and French nobility. Combined with the relationships between feudal lords and their subjects, became inextricably confused with issues of national allegiance and territorial claims. The result after centuries of conflict was the emergence of two recognizably national entities, France and England, that would remain natural rivals until the beginning of the 19th century. The exact cause of the war, its triumph and the disappointment, are not what concern us in this entry on still, but for the benefit of for for the benefit of my American readers, I can reveal that the war and have to renounce their territorial claims in France. The significance of the Battle of Edinburgh for this book is the role, both, both positive and negative, that iron plate armor played in the outcome of the battle. On either, on the eve of the confrontation. The French were convinced that they were going to score an easy victory over the English. Henry was leading a small force of between 6,000 and 9,000 men, consisting of armed knights escorted by lightly armed. Archers, the famed English longbowmen, in a retreat north toward the safety of the English held for allies on the French coast. The pursuing French, the pursuing French army, estimated at between 12,000 and 36,000, fighting avenge all the losses against the English. Also, gun, gunpowder weapons were already in use at the time. They didn't play a major role in the battles that would be a match between French plate armor against the English longbow. The trend for understanding or warfare also we think of knights in armor as being quintessentially quintessentially Western European and medieval. Quintessentially European and medieval. The origins of heavy cavalry were far older, dating back to antiquity, with origins in the East. The immediate ancestor of the medieval knight was the late Roman and Byzantine cataphractory, a heavy cavalryman armed with an iron lance, mace, and sword. Now, far older, dating back to antiquity with origins in the East. The immediate ancestor of the medieval knight was late Roman and Byzantine cataphractory, a heavy cavalryman armed with an iron lance, mace, and sword. He wore a full helmet and whose body was protected by a circle of overlapping metal scales worn over chainmail. The Byzantine cataphracts was himself inspired by Iranian and Central Asian heavy cavalry, which had proved itself against Roman infantry and light cavalry in several major campaigns between Sassanid Persia and Rome. In the dreadful Ars- arithmetic of warfare, which is still being calculated today in Europe and Afghanistan. Strategists have to weigh the relative value of the protection afforded to the soldier by armor against the loss of speed and maneuverability. In army, in armoring personnel or vehicles, for the French at Agincourt on that day, the sounds did not work out at all. Also, they had the advantage of numbers on their side. Also, by exactly how many they outnumbered, the English has recently been questioned. The battlefield was hemmed in by England that would not allow the battlefield was hemmed in by England that would not allow them to outflank hemmed in by England, hemmed by England. That would not allow them to outflank their more likely armed opponents or to make best use of their numbers. The English had prepared the defensive for the French at Lincoln on that day. These signs would not work out at all. Also, they had the advantage of numbers on their side. Although by exactly how many they outnumbered, the English had recently been questioned. The battlefield was hemmed in by England that did not allow them to outmarch their more likely armed opponents or to make best use of their numbers. The English had prepared the defensive positions, pouring sharpened stakes into the ground to protect themselves against the shot and awe of a French master cavalry charge. When the French launched their first attack against the English, the French knights were protected by their armor against the English arrows and crossbow bolts, but their horses were not. mm, Crossbow bolts, but their horses were not. With their mounts, with their mount dead, wounded, or panicked, the French knights were forced to run toward the enemy across heavy ground, transformed into bat by the four winds. When they reached the English lines, they were so exhausted that they were unable to fight. Many of the knights were unable to get up. Once lying, once lying helpless on the ground, they were either easily captured or slaughtered by the English infantrymen and archers, most of whom were not encumbered by plate armor. The second French attack, this time mainly on foot, met the same fate. The French lost between 7,000 and 10,000 men, including many knights, while English losses have been estimated at fewer than 200. Also, Agincourt exposed the weakness of plate armor. It is a tribute to the conservatism of the military mind that it did not signal the end of its use in warfare. Steel armor would evolve, steel armor would evolve, but it continued to have a role on the battlefield until the World War One. The steel edge. Also, smiths were making steel tools and weapons as soon as they had began to smelt iron. They did not understand the chemistry that made one alloy of iron in carbon powder, but more brittle and another more malleable but more easily blunted. In addition to the composition of steel, ironsmiths discovered that they could change the physical properties of metal by quenching, that is, immersing the red hot blade in water or a mixture of water and oil. The quenching process altered the structure of the metal, making it harder and giving it much sharper cutting edge. Also, sourcing from Syria and Spain were famous for their blades in the medieval period. The world's first steel blades were made in Japan for the samurai elite. However, because Japan remained close to the outside world for almost 250 years until the late 19th century, the extent of Japanese swords was only revealed to the world long after military tactics had moved on from one-to-one combats between armed swordsmen. A full understanding of steel manufacturing process was not achieved until the middle of the 19th century, when it was perfected in Britain, America, and Germany, which, as a result, became the leaders of the industrial age. The first industrial revolution was powered by coal and with machines made of cast and wrought iron. However, iron is subject to metal fatigue, which in extreme cases could lead to disastrous failures. During the first half of the 19th century, there were several high-profile disasters, including the collapse of iron bridges and failure of iron railway tracks. In 1856, Henry Bessemer patented the Bessemer process that allowed the manufacture of plentiful quantities of cheap steel. The metal provided the material base for the second industrial revolution, creating the world of railroads, steamships, automobiles, me- mechanized factories, and metal-framed buildings. Also, our materials technology has moved on with the invention of plastics and aluminum alloys. A quick glance around our homes and workplaces will reveal how much we still depend on steel in daily life. The framework of the chair on which I am sitting, the bolts, screws, and nuts that hold my desk together, the armature of the computer that I am using to write this book, even the frame of the glasses I need to see the screen clearly as one type are all made with different types of steel.